Hello, everyone. The ACC Championship games, it looks like it's about to go in overtime between Duke and Virginia. But before the evening's over, I wanted to go ahead and go over my final playoff predictions. If you want to see my whole final bowl projections, go to my LinkedIn page down the red, and you'll see that there. But now for my final playoff predictions, I honestly have no idea what the committee's going to do, which means it's going to be pretty fun. So number one's obviously Indiana. You know, they move since they beat Ohio State. Now, since it was a close game, like normally I would just have Ohio State by 2. But because Georgia and Texas Tech both dominated their conference championship games, that's why I'm moving each of them up one spot and dropping Ohio State down to number 4. So Ohio State will still get the bye, but instead of like 2 or 3, I have them going down to 4, despite playing a close game with Indiana. So those are the 4 teams that get the bye. You got Indiana 1, Georgia 2, Texas Tech 3, and then Ohio State 4. Okay, so now number 5, as the community knows, will be as laid out for us. Number 5 is going to be Oregon, 6 is going to be Ole Miss, 7 is going to be Texas A&M, 8 is going to be Oklahoma. So then the question becomes who's 9, 10, 11, 12, So I understand the arguments for all the sides of all the teams, and I have my preferences of what it should be. But my projections are based on what I think the committee is going to do. So, because they had Notre Dame ahead of Alabama for weeks now, and then all of a sudden just flipped it, I think Notre Dame will move up to 9. So some people are saying, hey, they might be out of the playoffs. I think they're going to get in. Now, should they get in? That's questionable. But I think they're going to get in. So then, for that last spot, it's going to be between Alabama and Miami. I wish BYU was in the mix there, but because of the way they lost the Big 12 championship game, that's why they probably won't be in the mix. Although, again, I feel like they're unranked to begin with, because if you just take out their 2 Texas Tech games, they played good at football against everyone else, including some ranked teams, But it is what it is. So that's going to be an interesting debate. Because of the way Alabama lost the championship game, it wouldn't surprise me if the committee bumped them all the way out. However, the reason why I think they're going to put Alabama in is because, one, they don't want to screw Alabama over 2 years in a row, because that's what they would do if they kicked them out now. And then you get the uproar about not playing in conference championship games and blah, 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 So that's number 1. And then number 2, because they beat Georgia on the road early in the year, that's why I don't think they're going to get as huge of a knock to knock them out as they normally would have. Like if Alabama and Georgia didn't play at all this year, or maybe Georgia had won that first matchup, then obviously Bama. And what's interesting is that Bama and Miami actually have a common opponent, Florida State, who Miami dominated Florida State and Bama lost. So that's why, again, if Bama drops all the way out, I would not be shocked in this scenario. But what's interesting is that they can solve that Notre Dame Miami head dilemma by just putting both of them in and then kicking Alabama out. So again, I see all the angles, all the sides, and all that. But I just feel like, especially because of Bama's ranked wins that they have on the resume and all that, even though they haven't looked good in some of their wins and have a bad loss against Florida State and all that, I just feel like the committee's not going to want to damage, their chances, of getting rid of potentially, conference championship games in the major conferences, just because of what happened there. So therefore, as far as the matchups go, I have, 5 Oregon versus 12 James Madison. Then you got 6 Ole Miss versus 11 Tulane, which is actually a rematch. and not a good one because Ole Miss dominated Tulane in the first matchup. Now, since Lake Kiffin's not there, maybe it's closer this time around, but with the same players, um, I'm just not sure that'd be a close matchup. And then you got 7 Texas A&M versus 10 Alabama, so SEC there, but they didn't play in the regular season, so that'd be a cool matchup to see. And then last but not least, 8 Oklahoma hosting 9 Notre Dame. So that will be a fun matchup there. So again, those are my predictions. Thank you very much. This is my special podcast today. Please subscribe my channel to learn about me. I'm going to be coming out with my official predictions for all the bowl games probably on Friday or so, so stay tuned for that. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening.